one, though, because I think this one is a little bit of a sleeper because it could be an upset, Brian. Sebastian Fundora and Bryan Mendoza. Fundora is the huge favorite, minus 1,100. Mendoza, a plus 620. Who's going to win this fight and how?
Also plus 600, but plus 620, obviously better value. I think Sebastian Fundora just doesn't fight in a way that's conducive to how he's built. Like in terms of maximum effectiveness, you want him to use his reach, which is 80 inches in that super welterweight division, and his height, which is basically 6'6", but he insists on fighting on the inside, which he did against Carlos Ocampo. And it, he was fine, but he ended up winning that fight. But I also think the cards were too wide. I had that like a 116, 112.
It was closer.
Ocampo won a few rounds in that fight. And Bryan Mendoza is somebody like he can pop, man. Like this dude, he's got some power. You saw what he did against Rosario in middleweight last time. I think if there's a fight between these three boxing matches, the marquee ones this week, and if you want to throw in others with Keyshawn Davis and Jared Anderson, who we're not going to talk about, betting wise, but we will be talking about as the show progresses because them dudes are coming, right? Pause. I think what we're going to see in this fight is Sebastian Fundora is going to be in some danger. I think he ultimately wins on the cards, and that's plus 100 right now, method of victory to win by decision. By knockout, Fundora is plus 110. But the sprinkle on Bryan Mendoza by knockout, which I don't have in front of me, Shantelle, if you could pull that up, please. I think that's worth a sprinkle because I think if Sebastian Fundora loses at some point, somebody's going to make him pay on the inside like Erickson Lubin did. I just don't think it's going to be – I didn't think it was going to be Ocampo. I don't know if it's going to be Mendoza, though he has a better chance. It's going to be somebody, maybe if he in fact gets a Charlo twin, right, that makes him pay for fighting that way stylistically. I just don't see that being the long-term success plan for him. I think he should box more, use his range, actually jab, stay on the outside a little bit more. And because he's not, I think he's going to get caught. He's been dropped already. I think this is going to be a Fundora decision, but I think it's going to be very close. But I probably am going to sprinkle on the Mendoza KO because I could totally see him winning this fight by knockout.
Now, the Mendoza KO is not up on FanDuel. I think you mentioned it was up on DraftKings, so I can't pull it up here in Canada, so you might have to pull that up yourself.
Got you. 1 second.
Yes, Fundora, though, going back to what Brian was saying, he has the height and reach advantage, but he likes to fight like he's really small, always boxing on the inside. He doesn't use his height to his advantage to fight at a distance, and that's the most frustrating thing to watch. So there's a lot of hype on Fundora, but I think at the same time he does have the skills to be this great fighter. Fundora coming off that win against Ocampo, and that was obviously a guy that Errol Spence took care of.
One round.
Exactly. So you're thinking like Fundora, that was actually a close fight in my eyes, and he struggled in that fight where I was like, Ocampo is actually winning some rounds here. Lubin fight dropped him. He dropped Fundora in that fight. And it's like, there's so much hype on Fundora that I think he has to have a good performance against Bryan Mendoza.
Yeah.
But the thing about it, we know what he's going to do. He's going to fight on the inside. He's going to box on the inside. He's going to, have his work rate be higher than Mendoza. He's going to try to outwork you and wear you down. That's what Fundora does. Bryan Mendoza, though, he has power, man. 17 KOs in his 23 wins. He's got real power, so you can't sleep on him. He lost to Jesus Ramos, but, Ramos is being put up there to be one of those guys in that division. He lost to Larry Gomez, but he did beat Jason Rosario, as Brian was saying. And come on, man, like, Jason Rosario, that was a fight where Mendoza knocked him out. Jason Rosario's been in the ring with Julian Williams, Jermell Charlo, Erickson Lubin. Like, he's been in the ring with some dudes. So let's not sleep on Mendoza. I love. So tell me if you have it. Do you have the Bryan Mendoza knockout odds?
Plus 1,100.
I'm going to sprinkle on that.
I'm all over that.
Dude.
I'm sprinkling on that.
I am sprinkling on that. Bryan Mendoza is also a really good counter puncher. But the only thing is he's going to be reaching for those counters.
Yeah.
Right? So
not if he commits to the body early.
And he should.
And he'll have those. That's the thing. He's going to have those opportunities to do that because Fundora likes to fight on the inside. Now, the reason he fights on the inside is because he's going to overwhelm Mendoza with volume. But if Mendoza could defend reasonably well, try to at least, right, and try to get out of the way of some of these shots and actually find some success working inside, working the body, then yeah, I think he can punch his way to a victory. I just, it's not likely. He's plus 600 for a reason, right? It's not likely that this happens, but I think the knockout is worth sprinkling on, especially if he has some success to the body early.
And on DraftKings, also let me know how much it is. What are the odds for Fundora to win by unanimous decision?
Plus 100.
All right, so I'm taking the plus 100. I think Fundora
plus 110
will
to win by knockout, by the way. 110 to win by knockout.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I do think that Fundora wins by decision. So I'm going to take that plus 100, a little bit of value. It's better than the minus 1100 to take him straight up on the money line. So that's what I'm rolling with. And Bryan and I are both sprinkling as well on the Mendoza knockout because there's too much good value to not sprinkle on that, even if it's like $5. Yeah. Even if it's $5, you gotta sprinkle on that a little bit. But at the mandatory, we want to know if you believe in the Fundora hype and how you're going to be betting this fight. All right, Bryan, one more pretty big fight in boxing, and I say big because Bam Rodriguez is a guy that I think is going to be so dominant in the future. He has all the skills fighting Christian Gonzalez.